The place was Fort Worth, Texas, just left of Dallas. The date? May 22nd, 2003. It was the Colonial, and I was lucky enough to have a front row seat as Annika put a peg in the ground and striped a ball right down the middle of the fairway and into history. From that moment on, if you were ever accused of playing like a girl, you should have viewed it as a compliment.
I call it, the day America stopped. When you decided that you were going to play against the men at Colonial in Fort Worth.
From Stockholm, Sweden, please welcome Annika Sorenstam.
For me, that was the most extraordinary thing. I was already a fan, but I knew that I wanted to watch that, especially because purely as a sociological experiment. Men against women. We'd seen, Billie Jean King and we'd seen in other sports. This was fascinating to me, and the fact that you'd won 60 times or something already, I mean, you were perfectly qualified to do it, but it upset a lot of people.
It did. I think that, I don't know if upset is the word I use. I think I surprised a lot of people, and they were nervous about the whole thing. They were, they were asking, why is she doing it? What is she trying to achieve? I mean,
well, that's obvious. We're men. We don't want to get beaten by a girl.
Well, that's, but the thing is, that's not how I looked at it. For me, it was like...
No, it's how we looked at it.
I am just another golfer. I want to be better as a golfer. And yes, I mean, I'm a woman and you're a man, and we normally don't compete against each other, but it doesn't mean that I cannot learn from you, and you can probably learn something from me. So I looked at it more as an opportunity for me to get better.
I'll never forget that particular week. First of all, I'd convince our people that we needed to cover it flag to flag, that this was a historic moment. And, the attitude was, well, I mean, she's going to miss the cut. It's not going to be relevant. It's going to cost a lot of money for us to dedicate cameras and time and put folks in there. I said, you don't understand what's happening here. This is, first of all, it was a circus. We had media from different news channels.
Annika said this is the toughest situation she will ever face in golf, and then in a very vulnerable sort of moment, she said, at least I hope it's the most difficult because it's all I can handle. Relief from Annika Sorenstam.
I had asked you, remember before, to take your sunglasses off. Please, play this day. We want to see your eyes. We want to see who you are. It was like you were everybody's daughter in that moment. It was a magical moment. And I mean, it makes the hair stand up on my forearms.
Me too, yeah.
And I remember you coming down the last and being able to walk with you, and how emotional it was. It really was one of the great moments, I think, in my broadcasting career was being a part of that and being able to watch it from close up.
When I look back at my career, that's certainly one of the weeks that stand out. And, I went in there I didn't really know what to expect. Again, I mean, I went there to learn. I mean, I didn't know could I handle the pressure? Could I handle being under the microscope the way it was? Could I play the golf course? I mean, I trust my ability as a player, but just it's such a different arena. And I'm telling you, it's not about the score. It's not about the amount of putts or whatever. To me, it was about doing something that you want to do in life, testing yourself, wanting to be a better person, wanting to be better at what you do, and not being afraid. I mean, you have to try it. You have to dare to have, you need to have the courage to try something. And I think, I talk to people about the Colonial all the time, and I tell them, yes, I'm a golfer, and this was a time in my life when I'd venture out. I said, all of us in our lifetime are going to be in times in our life when we make decisions. It could be you want to get into nursing, you want to go into broadcasting, or you want to become a mother. I think we all end up in places and times of our life when you could easily say no, because it's easy to say no and you don't have to deal with it. But then again, you look back and you go, you know what? I wonder what would have happened if I did it. From the time I made the decision in January to May, all the hours I spent on the range, all the hours I spent in the gym, all the hours I stood at the back tee of Lake Nona just playing from the tips, that's what I remember. So for me, that was a turning point. After that, I wasn't as shy. I mean, I had one of my best years on tour because I felt like after the Colonial, I can handle anything.
To me, it seemed that you came out of it tougher, you know, having gone through that fire, if you like, having exposed yourself to that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't sit here and say, oh, I missed the cut, and you know, I should have hit more fairways. I don't even remember how many fairways I hit. I don't remember what my score was. That wasn't what was that relevant to me. You know, me playing a practice round with Jesper Parnevik and Sergio Garcia, learning from them, the friendships that I made, that was special, and those are the things that I took away from that week. You know, I've heard about, you know, babies being born, you know, premature, and I've been to the NICU, and I never thought that we would ever spend time here.
Go to golfchannel.com so we can spend more time together. That's a little awkward.